Okay, so we are looking at Ranker.com's 14 chaotic Scarlet Witch fan theories we want to be true. Let's go. Wanda's power boost in Endgame was an evolution. Sure. It was an Infinity Stone that gave Wanda and Pietro their powers, or unlocked their latent abilities. Whatever it was, Wanda seemed not so powerful in Infinity War against Corvus Clave and Proxima Midnight, but she managed to destroy the Mind Stone and hold off Thanos during their brief standoff towards the end in Endgame. Suggests that her power level has been enhanced manifold. Or to put it in context, her powers have evolved. Sure. In some cases for mutants, a certain event triggers a surge in their powers, to which some adapt and evolve. Wanda losing her brother, then Vision, and also probably the snap could very well mean such a triggering event. From the look of the fight in Endgame, she could have single-handedly vanquished the massively powerful Thanos, so that might have helped to uncover her potential. Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. I also think that it could be, the anger and the hurt and the need for revenge, I guess. Yeah, I guess. The ads in WandaVision represent each of Wanda's past traumas. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so 3 Redditor users sort of have the same idea here. Okay, first one. Theory. The beeping of the toaster in episode 1 is the beeping of the bomb made by Stark Industries that Wanda and Pietro mentioned in Age of Ultron. Yes. The toaster being made by Then we got the second one. The toaster being made by Stark Industries in the commercial and the repulsor beam sound combined with the sudden ticking probably meant to be obvious, but Wanda's trauma from having to wait days with her brother to see if that Stark bomb was going to kill them. And number 3. Oh, shit. Baron von Strucker is the guy who tested on Wanda and Pietro in a Strucker watch commercial. He'll make time for you definitely sounds ominous. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 3 theories all about sort of the same thing. Yeah, obviously the commercials were about Wanda's past trauma. Ultron loved Wanda, explaining Vision's affection for her. Like loved? It's a little creepy, but okay. Let's go into this. We all know Ultron and Vision are AI counterparts. It seems they may also share a love for Wanda Maximoff. The film begins with Wanda and Quicksilver helping Ultron in his mission to bring extinction to the Avengers and bring peace to the world. When Wanda first turns against Ultron on the train, there is a genuine loss conveyed in Ultron's voice. Please don't do this, he says. It is rather out of character for the villain, actually, who is usually quite cocky and confident. Later, he says to Vision, "My Vision, they really did take everything from me." He also says, "You took away my world," and Vision refers to Ultron as being emotionally hurt. So, of course, he views Vision as an opportunity that was stolen from him. But what the hell else does he have to be sad about? Other than a few destroyed robots, Wanda is the other big loss he experienced. Which leads me to believe that he loved Wanda in a way, much in the way that Vision ends up falling in love. It's just that Ultron's unrequited love is destructive and is a factor in his emotional state and decisions at the end of the film. Towards the end, there's pretty solid evidence of the odd love. Ultron is nearly defeated and Wanda approaches him. "Wanda, if you stay here, you'll die." Ultron sincerely wants her to live. Then Wanda rips his freaking heart out, a physical manifestation of how he already felt. okay. I'm not mad at this one. This one actually kind of makes sense. Definitely chaotic. Yeah. It's weird, but I'm here for it. Wanda was already a mutant in the MCU. I think they'll retcon it so that the Mind Stone unlocked her and her brother's abilities instead of giving them powers. She will learn about this and then try to recreate it on the rest of the Earth's population. Possibly the clip from the WandaVision trailer with her recreating the Mind Stone, therefore creating a set amount of mutants in the MCU, which will be discovered throughout the next saga. So this was probably around the time of WandaVision, heading into WandaVision. It was updated April 14th, 2023 at time of recording this. So not that recent, but I think this theory could have been written sort of around the time of WandaVision, because it's like the trailers with her recreating the Mind Stone. So probably heading into WandaVision was when this theory came about. Not exactly what happened, but I guess it still could. Technically, I guess. Maybe. Who knows? I think it was kind of implied in WandaVision that the Mind Stone unlocked the abilities. So I guess maybe it's possible? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? WandaVision starts off in the 50s for a reason. Do tell. You guys, WandaVision starts in the 50s because Edwin Jarvis lived in the 50s. Vision was made from Jarvis, named after Edwin by Tony, and Wanda was trying to get Vision back. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. Okay. So I went and I had to look it up because my brain. I thought it was probably in the 50s because of the Dick Van Dyke Show, but the Dick Van Dyke Show aired in 61. So not the 50s. It doesn't seem plausible. It doesn't quite make sense. It's a stretch. But why the 50s? Like why the 50s? Because the first episode is clearly an homage to the Dick Van Dyke Show. Then we learn that Wanda and Pietro and their parents sort of learned English by watching the Dick Van Dyke Show. And so in my head, I was just like, oh yeah, like Dick Van Dyke Show, 50s. But no, Dick Van Dyke Show was 61. So now I'm sitting here wondering why the 50s. I mean, it could be because it was the amount of episodes and then we lead to like present day, and so it has to be the 50s. That's interesting. I think this is a stretch, like a huge stretch. But I don't have any other reason for the 50s, so why not? Wanda will cope with loss by creating her own Pleasantville. Yeah, she does. She does. I'm kind of thinking that WandaVision and Doctor Strange 2 will be the MCU's take on House of M. Kind of. Or at least the part where Wanda warps reality because she is so depressed. The Pleasantville setting is what she creates, and Vision is the stand-in for her kids from the books. And also, her kids from the books are there, so there's that. Maybe she has done it on her own or is being manipulated by some sort of demon, hence the shadow on the corner of the promotional poster. Ooh, I forgot about that, the promotional poster. I'm just going back to WandaVision days with these. Okay. In Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, we'll deal with some of the fallout. Correct. The movie is called Multiverse of Madness, so maybe Strange is dealing with Wanda's madness as she messes with realities. By the end of Doctor Strange 2, reality will be fixed, but they will have accidentally brought mutants into their reality. Not yet. Oh, I mean, this theory was kind of spot on with what happened, aside from a few things, but yeah, it happened. The reality gem latched itself to Wanda. Do tell. Okay. After the stones were destroyed, maybe they latched on to certain entities, but only after the events of Endgame. Wanda wasn't around during when they were destroyed and has a relationship with the stones since the Mind Stone gave her her abilities. Maybe after Cap took the past gems back to the Reality Stones. Maybe after Cap took the past gems back, the Reality Stone's powers locked onto her, and the rest latch onto other beings like Soulstone with Adam Warlock and others. And Reality Stone, based on Wanda's gaining magic and being a big figure in the Multiverse of Madness, I think that because her powers came from a stone, that she attracts the Reality Stone and she can't control the powers, and that's what makes her more Wanda from the comics. I don't think there's been anything to disprove this theory. And we got two people thinking along the same lines. So in theory, I should be on board with this. I'm just not. I don't know. I don't think I'm on board with this. I don't know. Maybe. No. I'm gonna go with no. WandaVision's commercial breaks feature her deceased parents. Call me crazy, but I think the people in the commercials are Wanda and Pietro's parents. Makes sense they'd be the same people in each episode and linked to her trauma. As far as I know, they've never been shown before, but then they were in the past. And so now, I gotta go figure this out. Nope. Not the same actors, I don't think. So not likely, but I do think that maybe they could be what Wanda thinks her parents would look like had they lived. Because, like, we saw her parents when they were young. And it's possible that maybe in her head she aged them up. I guess, I mean, I like the idea, and it could have definitely worked. I think they should have gotten the actors from the commercials to play their parents in the flashback episode, but they didn't do that. But I do like this theory. So even though it's not likely, I'm going to go with it because I like it. It makes sense. Makes sense to me. And I like that. WandaVision will be a reverse House of M. This is all WandaVision theories. Not quite. Question mark. So as others have said, it seems pretty clear that WandaVision is some sort of mix between House of M and Tom King's Vision run. Probably Wanda having some sort of break after the events of Endgame and creating an alternate reality where Vision never died and going a little crazy. We also know that the events of WandaVision will have major implications for the MCU, specifically affecting Doctor Strange too, to an extent. We don't know how Marvel plans on bringing mutants into the universe after buying Fox, but a reality warping series led by a character with strong ties to mutant history could be the perfect opportunity. It very well could have been. That's all I'm saying. It very well could have been. Maybe it stems from a feeling of loneliness with Quicksilver and Vision gone, and reality bends to her wish for more people like her. Or maybe time and reality shenanigans happen, and those two babies we see in the trailer end up being the Adam and Eve of mutants. Would be nice, but it's not likely. In fact, I'd bet money that if Marvel plans on giving an in-universe explanation for the sudden appearance of mutants, it will be a result of either WandaVision or the stuff in Doctor Strange 2 that was kicked off by WandaVision. Nope. Otherwise, they'll probably just pretend that mutantdom was always a thing in the universe, like they've done with other new elements. But it would be cool if the character behind one of the greatest mutant tragedies in comics history somehow tied to their MCU introduction. That would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. It did not happen. I do wish that it did, though. Because it's perfect. It's perfect. Oh, MCU. They really dropped the ball on that one, didn't they? And then we had Evan Peters. And he wasn't Quicksilver. It was perfect. All the pieces were there. They just didn't put them together. Oh, it's so sad. Wanda wiped out mutants in the MCU when she was a child. Honestly, at this point, I'm beginning to think that's exactly what happened. We see a flashback of Wanda and Pietro as kids/teens. They're on the run with their parents. There are people after them. Wanda asks why they're always chasing them. Her mother answers, because you're special. You and your brother. You were born special. Wanda says, because we're mutants. Her mother just nods sadly. They flee into Sokovia thinking they'd be safe. The missiles tear apart most of the building, kill her parents. It's a missile from a Sentinel. It says Trask on the side, not Stark. Wanda and Pietro lie beneath the rubble for days. And in all that time, Wanda dreams of a world in which their powers weren't the result of a freak act of nature, but were bestowed upon them as an act of heroism when they volunteered to be heroes. She thinks of a world with no more running, no more sentinels, no more mutants. Boom. Reality changed. Great fan fiction story. Great. I started believing that was what happened. I'm like, I don't remember this. But you know what? I could see it. But it's not going to happen. But I could see it. I was really enthralled by that. I was really enthralled by that story. I am very, very enthralled by this story, so I'm going to roll with it. Wanda will merge the multiverse if she's alive. That's all. I think that Wanda will discover a reality where Vision lived and Doctor Strange died, but the Avengers still beat Thanos. She'll blame Vision's death on the Master of the Mystic Arts and go insane, which will bridge the realities and cause a rift which will leak into the Prime Timeline MCU. Doctor Strange 2 will be based on horrific alternate universes that bridge into the Prime Timeline. That is not what happened. It's so weird looking at these theories where it's like predicting what will happen in like movies and shows that already existed. Because some of them are honestly better than what we got. Wanda is manipulating Vision's affections. Okay. After rewatching Civil War recently, I picked up on the moment Vision fell in love with Wanda. Vision discusses in some depth that he is not necessarily in control of himself and that the Mind Stone has influence over him. He hopes that by learning more about it, that he will eventually be able to control it one day and have complete autonomy. Afterward, Hawkeye helps Wanda escape. Wanda uses her powers to push Vision through the ground in order to escape. I had always assumed that she just affected him on an atomic physical level, which gave her the ability to phase him in and out and also to move his body around, just like she would move around any other object. After rewatching, I realized that as soon as Wanda attacks him, the Mind Stone glows bright red, and from that point on, she is in control over him. Wanda is actually controlling the stone, which in turn controls Vision's body. The first scene we see Wanda and Vision together after this point is the aftermath of the airport scene. He embraces her, then goes to shoot Falcon down, but accidentally hits Rhodey. Stark asks what happened. Vision responds that he was distracted. Tony says he didn't think that was possible, and Vision agrees. I think as soon as Wanda controlled the Mind Stone and escaped, Vision grew a strong affinity to her. Not only is she the only person that could possibly understand how the Mind Stone affects him, given her circumstance, she also has the ability to control it, which is something he desires more than anything. I also believe this is why Vision is so confident that Wanda can destroy the Mind Stone in Infinity War, despite this never coming up in conversation prior, that we see at least. He has seen firsthand that she can control the stone, something no one else has been able to do but Thanos via the gauntlet. This is kind of genius. I kind of love it. This is genius. I think it makes sense. I do think maybe they did have a conversation. They were on the run after all, for a while. So they probably did have a conversation about it, but it's possible. And I think that kind of makes sense. How WandaVision will end. We know how WandaVision ended, but let's see what this theory has to say about how they think WandaVision will end. It should end with Wanda protecting a mutant. Someone will insist the only way to keep everyone safe is to kill all the mutants, and she flips out, activates her powers, and says, "No, more mutants," and the X gene activates worldwide. Should it have ended like that? Quite possibly. Did it end like that? Not in the slightest. Wanda was sent to Westview for reconnaissance, but became trapped in her own mind. Nope. But let's go, because this is so much fun. The alternate ways WandaVision could have gone if the fans had their say. And you know what? I'm here for it. WandaVision theory. Yeah. Instead of Wanda going crazy in WandaVision, what if Westview is already ruled by some entity from a different dimension who tried to breach this reality because that place is like the source and historically rich of magic, especially with the witch trial in the past, and Agatha is the patron of that place. Y'all, I wish. Wanda is placed there by Sword after Endgame to inspect it, but because she senses the amount of magic, she becomes overwhelmed by it and starts developing her power instead and making her own utopia. In the new trailer, Agnes asked her if she's there to help them. I'm paraphrasing here. But she becomes more and more deep into her own creation. The Westview citizens become more and more static, and the breach between two universes become wider and unstable. Sword sends Monica in there to wake Wanda up from her dream world, but Wanda, who becomes detached to the real world, forgets who she is, and anything that doesn't belong in that area is thrown out of the dome. Wanda starts to realize that something isn't right, and Sword keeps trying to breach that shield. Sword is planning to close that place by destroying it, and ready to sacrifice people who live there as casualties. Wanda realizes she owes these people of what they provided to her, a home. With her time living there, while also exploring her power, she and Vision are ready to defend them. That's where she embraces it and becomes Scarlet Witch. In the end, the whole town is saved, but the bridge between universes can't be salvaged. In this third act, Doctor Strange is involved. Vision is TBD. I don't want the trope like woman consumed by power repeated once again. See House of M. It's tiring and misogynistic. All right. So this is the end of that list. But what I discovered in this article is there was plenty of different ways that WandaVision could have gone. Some were better than what we got. I like that last one, though. I think that would have been fun. But the list of 14 chaotic Scarlet Witch fan theories we want to be true, that we wish were true. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. So yeah, let me know what you thought of these 14 chaotic Scarlet Witch fan theories that we want to be true. Did you want these to be true? Do you have any other Scarlet Witch fan theories? Let me know all of the thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you all liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye.